The Chicago River, a source of life for the city's earliest settlers, connecting Chicago's growing population to the Great Lakes. As is true of any city connected to a body of water, Chicago quickly drew a large gathering of people. This massive population growth, however, took a toll on the river. The human and industrial waste rapidly polluted Chicago's main source of drinking water. Death due to waterborne illnesses increased drastically. It was during the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 that the effects of the pollution could be seen. The fire blazed over the river because of the layers of fat residing atop of the water.
Today, after the decision to reverse the river's flow and send our waste to the lower states, Chicago faces a slightly different problem. Although the water quality is much cleaner, there is still toxic waste from industries along the shore. During heavy rainfall, Chicago's sewage system overloads, causing the untreated water to flow back into the river and our basements to flood from the excess flood.
Like mine.
Before government regulated water treatment, in the early stages of Chicago's development, cholera spread with haste.
As the casualties increased, companies began selling treated water, but it became costly. People enlisted the government to create the Chicago City Hydraulic Company, improving water quality until the malady was assuaged.
You know what the Water Reclamation District does. It's responsible for wastewater treatment and stormwater management for almost all of Cook County.
This was the first of many public efforts to mitigate the Chicago water pollution.
Now there has been talk of privatizing the water system. Much like Mayor Daley's deal to lease parking meters, opponents against such privatization fear exorbitant costs, low-quality water, and the company's prioritization of shareholders over the customers.
When the private sector, say, has controlled drinking water, sometimes the costs escalate dramatically, or they may not be the best protectors of public health. And I think there are good reasons why the government serves to regulate food and drugs and water and things that have a direct connection to our health and well-being.
There are sufficient worries that private companies would rank the maximization of profits over providing the best quality water, with the public unable to regain control. Privatization would also lead to job losses in the community, as the private business would want to cut costs and raise efficiency with layoffs.
Why privatize at all? Many proponents of privatization believe that small businesses can maneuver grandiose projects better due to the large size of the government. In order to keep the water potable, one must innovate, which is very difficult with a ponderous government organization. Because of competition, business owners will be forced to give customers the lowest price for water. Supporters of privatization hope that it will lower taxes and city spending, saving the government the choice of cutting funding or employees elsewhere to save money. The EPA also sets rules for water standards, which the private companies must follow, preventing exploitation of the water.
Many smaller cities have tried this and found that it effectively cut costs for government spending. If adopted, Chicago would be the first city of its size to privatize the water system. The bloated Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago spends $1.6 billion on annual costs. That's more than the CTA.
In Manila, the Philippines, and Atlanta, a strong public-private partnership emerged after 3 to 5 year contracts. Parts of Argentina have found that the infant mortality rate may have declined 5 to 7% due to the privatization of their water system.
Atlanta, Georgia became one of the first cities to have a water system run by a private company. The 20-year contract, worth $420 million, was broken in 2003 after unhappy residents faced issues with shoddy water management. The company actually lost the city money. City Councilor Claire Mueller admitted to learning a lesson. I do think that we got a little carried away 4 years ago with the hype of this big silver bullet that was going to solve all our problems, she said.
Potential customers are also worried about the company's interests in their own business rather than in the shareholders. Instead of creating free enterprise with many small businesses, one large company usually creates a monopoly in the city, eliminating competition entirely. This lets them get away with substandard service under a lengthy contract. If the water system is privatized, Chicago would be the biggest city to do so. Because of Chicago's size, any problems would become magnified. The economy is still recovering, but there are other ways to reduce expenses without looking for radical and unproven methods. Water is a source of life that everyone, regardless of location, depends on. With privatization, the public will not be stripped of their say in how this resource is used. If the city is serving its residents, it is also up to the city to regulate its resources in the best interest of the people.